Madison, and today we're going to be doing this Annabelle look while I talk about the real life story of Annabelle. And this is the movie rendition of her. She's actually a rag doll. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. The Haunting of Annabelle. The haunting begins in 1970 when a 28-year-old nursing student, Donna, received a Raggedy Ann doll from her mother for her birthday. Soon after receiving the doll, Donna and her roommate Angie noticed the doll would change positions than what they left it in. On other occasions, they would find it in a different room than which they left it in. Another time, Donna remembered leaving the doll on the couch, and when she returned from work, the doll was in her room behind a closed door. Finding it weird that the doll would move, they didn't think too much into it. But their mutual friend Lou had a horrible feeling about the doll, even going as far as telling Donna to get rid of the doll. But Donna did not get rid of the doll. Soon after that, Donna and Angie would find pieces of parchment paper, which they didn't have in the home, with notes on it. The notes would say, "Help us" or "Help Lou" in a child's-like handwriting. One day they noticed the doll had bloodstains on its hands and chest. That was the final straw for them, so they contacted a medium to help them. Medium is a person that can communicate with the spirit of the dead. They do this by channeling their energy through a seance, a Ouija, or any other form of communication the medium prefers. When the medium conducted her seance, it was revealed that the doll was possessed by a 7-year-old girl named Annabelle Higgins. There are different accounts of what happened to Annabelle, but most believe she was murdered and buried in a field where the apartment building was now located. Annabelle stated that she felt safe with them and wanted to stay within the doll. Donna felt very sorry for the spirit and granted her permission to stay within the doll. Even though Lou found out what happened to the spirit within the doll, he was very weary of the doll's intentions. Later, when Lou was spending the night at Donna and Angie's apartment, he experienced sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis occurs when the person is waking up or falling asleep, in which the person is aware but unable to speak or move. During this episode, one may hallucinate. The subject normally hallucinates things of true horror, and the episodes normally last a few minutes, but to the subject it feels like hours. Although not all the time, but demons and spirits are notorious for causing sleep paralysis. Lou experienced the Annabelle doll at the foot of his bed. She slowly crawled up his body all the way up to his neck and began strangling him. Eventually he passed out, but when he awoken, he was convinced that this was not a dream. Next morning, Lou and Angie decided to go on a road trip. But when they heard rustling come from Donna's room, they went to go investigate. They soon realized that there was no one in the room, or any evidence to be one. But Annabelle was laying on the floor. Lou went over to investigate. He bent over in excruciating pain, clutching his chest. His shirt was covered in blood. They soon realized he had 3 scratch marks on his chest, which is also known as the mark of the beast. But Lou's claw marks seemed to disappear instantly, and within days the claw marks were gone with no sign of them ever being there. At this point, they all decided that enough was enough and they called a priest. With all the evidence, the priest decided to contact Ed and Lorraine Warren. Ed and Lorraine Warren were American paranormal investigators, self-proclaimed demonologists. Lorraine was a clairvoyant. A clairvoyant is the ability to gain information from an object, person, or location. In 1958, the Warrens founded the New England Society of Psychic Research. They are the oldest ghost hunting group in New England. They authorize many books of the paranormal as well as private investigations of paranormal activity. They claim to investigate over 10,000 cases in their career. Some of their cases involve the Porton family, which is famously known from the Conjuring series, as well as the Anderville Horror House. When the Warrens arrived at the scene, they said that the doll was not possessed, because according to Nesper, inanimate objects cannot be possessed. That in fact the Annabelle doll was a conduit for an inhuman, demon-like spirit. That in fact was actually looking for a human host. According to the Warrens, the demon was only a few weeks away from completing its task, which would have most likely involved the death of Angie, Donna, and Lou. A priest performed an exorcism on Angie and Donna as well as the apartment. Knowing this information now, Donna did not want the doll and asked the Warrens to take it off her hands. But Annabelle would not go without a fight. The Warrens accepted to take the doll. They took it back to their home in Connecticut. While driving, the Warrens claimed that the car had a lot of malfunctions. This included the brakes to fail, as well as the car swerving uncontrollably by itself. With some near-death experiences, Ed did the sign of the cross with holy water so they safely could get home. Although the Annabelle doll was in the Warrens' possession, the haunting did not stop. The doll would continue to move from place to place, even though no one moved it. The doll was even found levitating by Ed's desk. Another time, when a priest visited the Warrens' home, he disrespected Annabelle, calling her a rag doll and she couldn't do anything. 3 hours later, the priest contacted the Warrens. He said his brakes failed in the middle of a busy intersection, which almost caused his death. This is not the only time Annabelle has caused car malfunctions. Another time, a man came to visit the museum at the Warrens. He taunted the doll by banging on the case as well as telling it to scratch him to make sure that it was real. Ed kicked him and his girlfriend out of the museum. When they rode off, later the girlfriend told Lorraine that he lost control of his motorcycle and ran into a tree, killing himself. Knowing now that the doll is not possessed by the original spirit Annabelle, the doll is still named after the original name. The Annabelle doll still remains at the Warrens Museum. It is placed in a glass box that is locked at all times, and it is blessed monthly by a priest, as well as the other demons within the room. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to see more. All my links for other social medias will be linked down below. And thank you guys for watching. Bye. welcome to Editing Maddie. While I was filming this, I realized that my intro and my, like modeling, whatever clip, the camera angle just changed. And I was continuously looping like the last 10-15 minutes of that video. So I didn't change it because I didn't stand up because I'm sitting down. And two, there was no one in the house with me while I was filming this. So, I don't know what's happening. Annabelle, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to disrespect you like that. You're beautiful. You're show-stopping. You're magnificent. Like, please leave me alone, Annabelle. I didn't mean to disrespect you like that. Okay, that's my 2 cents of this topic.